Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenya Revolutionary. Salute to everyone out there. Today, we are going to try to go for an hour on this, what's going on in Kenyan politics. Very quickly, I just saw Citizens TV in their Twitter page or their X page. Guess what they wrote an hour ago? Where's my volume? All right, my volume is good. They're just reporting that Bipartisan Committee now wants more money to finance Azimio and Kenya Kwanza talks. Isn't that a joke? These bipartisan talks that they're having at Bomas. First of all, I don't know why they have it at Bomas. They want more money for these talks. Why do they need money? Why these talks? Why do they need money? If it's a bipartisan talks between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, these two party coalitions should foot the bill. Azimio, bring up your money. Kenya Kwanza, bring up your money and finance the talk. This is not a national talk. Kenyans have moved on. Okay, this is not a problem, but we'll get to that. That's just a headline right now. Before I go on, other news. My main topic today is about UDA and President William Ruto. Reasons why they will fail, they will not succeed to take us to Canaan, as Raila used to promise us that he will take us to Canaan. I don't know how that journey went. Somebody should ask him. Those who are supporting him on going to Mandamano, can't you ask your buddy, ask him, hey, what happened to that Canaan? Are we in Canaan yet, or are we just taking a break? But anyway, we'll discuss. Give reasons why Ruto will not succeed in his presidency, okay? Anyway, before we get started, let me just post the link here for anybody that wants to join. Please feel free and join. This is a free discussion, okay? If you feel like you have something to say, or and you're wondering how to join the studio, you can join me, debate me, talk to me, cast me out, whatever the case is. Here's a link to join the studio. Click the link, and here's the link. I will post it right now for anyone, and I mean anyone who wants to be part of this. Okay, let me see here. All right, let's see. Right there's the link to join the studio. Let me highlight it on the. Why am I not seeing it? All right, there you go. To join the studio, click the link right there. It's on the comment section if you're watching YouTube. It's right there. You can see what I'm talking about. You can join me in the studio and we can talk. Tell me what you think. The committee, the bipartisan committee, they want more money. My question is, what do they need money for? That will be actually a very good question for Kimani Ichung'wah. Remember, Kimani Ichung'wah told us that there's no need of going to these 5-star hotels to hold these meetings because it will be expensive for no reason. It will cost taxpayers a lot of money. Well, first of all, why is the taxpayers footing the bill for these talks? We did not call for these talks. These talks are between two people. Number two, they went to Bomas, whatever the Bomas place that they're having the talks. I don't know what kind of talks they're having, but I don't see why they should be paid coming from the taxpayers' money. That's my own opinion. But this just highlights how silly and this stupid most of these politicians are. They're greedy. They don't care about people who care about cost of living. Let me go to hit Azimio for a minute. Okay? Sifuna, if you're watching, join in. One thing on your agenda, Mr. Sifuna and Azimio, Dandaheads, is cost of living. And you only added that cost of living after there was outrage from your supporters. Okay? But anyway, let's assume you care about cost of living. Why should we foot the bill for these talks? Okay. For those of you who out there went to Mandamano, threw stones, had your runnings with the police, okay, and those guys who lost their loved ones, okay, here comes the same people who were telling us to go to Mandamano and get shot, risk our lives and freedom. Now, these are the same people. They decided to go sit down with the Kenya Kwanza, and they're asking for money. Money for what? What kind of talks are you holding? What kind of talks are you having that you need money? You can actually, you know what? Come here and have those talks. I'll host you, all of you. Kalonzo Musyoka, Kimani Chungwa, Hassan, whatever Hassan his name is, that former whatever, Aaron Cheruyot, and the rest of you dunderheads. I'll invite you on my platform and have these talks for free so Kenyans can watch and see what you're discussing. It should be very, very open to everyone so we can see what you guys are talking about. I'm willing to host you. I will host you on my channel. I can hold 5 people on this on this whatever. I mean 10 people on this StreamYard stuff, okay? Log in, Kimani Chungwa, and it will be for free. I won't charge anybody. And I'll let Kenyans listen to what you're talking about. You don't need money to talk, to have talks, okay? All you have to do is have, agree on a place to meet, and you sit down and you talk about the issues, and you agree on what you agree on and disagree on what you disagree on. And that's the end of the story. But as a matter of fact, nobody cares about these talks. We do not care about these talks. Most Kenyans do not care about these talks. They already moved on. So you guys need to stop these shenanigans and stop these talks. But anyway, that ties into what I want to talk about today. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. Before I go ahead, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and find me on YouTube. My name is Kenya Revolutionary, as you see in the screen. Find me on YouTube and subscribe, share, like, comment, and do all the good stuff, okay? Let's get on. Let's go on. It is quite hot. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. All right. Let's see what's going on. As I say, I see everyone is talking about, asking themselves, how would they rate the first year of Kenya, of William Ruto's presidency? Okay, William Ruto's presidency, first year, in my opinion, it's an extension of Uhuru Kenyatta's rule. The difference is, while Uhuru Kenyatta was a profligate, drunk, who didn't even know, who can't even wipe his own ass, Ruto seems to be focused on what he's doing. And he is more cunning, so to speak, okay? But as far as policies, he's doing the same thing that Kenyatta is doing. It's an extension of Kenyatta's administration. Where's the corruption? Where's the stopping corruption? Where's the fighting corruption? Okay, don't mention the silly little cases that we hear about. I'm talking about, I need to see the big names getting arrested. Okay, we are still having scandals. Bei ya mafuta is still up. The fertilizers were being resold to us. I mean, scandal after scandal. People like what's this guy from? I forgot his name. This stupid guy from the one that used to be an MP of where Uhuru came from. Not Kimani Chungwa. What's the other guy? Very stupid guy. Minister of Trade, CS of Trade. What's his name? Somebody tell me what's his name. Very stupid, incompetent, and a moron, total moron. I forgot his name. CS of Trade. You know who he is. His name escapes me. But anyway, Murkomen. Today he was in Homa Bay or somewhere, launching their flights that will be flying from Nairobi to is it Migori or Homa Bay, whatever the case is. And curiously enough, Miss Ida, whatever her name is, the wife of Raila Odinga was at the launch. Okay, so people are asking, should Ida should be kicked out of ODM or cease being Raila Odinga's wife? Because you can't be meeting people from the other party. Anyway, this is what I've been saying from the get-go. These political shenanigans, they are stage managed. This beef between Raila Odinga and Rigathi, the back and forth, they're talking smack at each other. These are stage managed. All this calling Gachagua Gachietha, Raila, I don't know what, Mganga, I don't know, name it. I told you yesterday that these talks will fail. And if they don't fail, when it comes to implement what they agree upon, as for example, like I mentioned, I gave the example of the whatever of the elections. I can't even think right now. The auditing of the elections, okay? It's an impossibility. It cannot be done lawfully, okay? So it won't happen. But when these talks hit a snag, as I mentioned, Azimio will go back to the streets. And in fact, a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Raila Odinga was somewhere, I forgot where, he was in his top of his car, and he mentioned that he threatened to go back to Mandamano. This guy never learns, and he doesn't care. He doesn't even care that people die trying to advocate for his nonsense. Okay? And nobody got compensated. Okay? So, like I say, politics in Kenya is stage managed. Everything is stage managed. Everything. These politicians are the same. They hang out together. They do everything together. But of course, they do this to fool their supporters. Like I say, in order for them to change the constitution, they know majority of Kenyans do not want the constitution to be changed. But in order to do that, they have to pretend, create a problem, okay? Create instability. How will they do that? Mandamano, okay? They will go get Maina Njenga and with several thugs, as Collins, what's his name? Gaucho and his fellow criminals, to rally around youths across the nation, have this Mandamano by, messing around with the police, and there'll be shootings here and there, and idiots like Herman Manyora will get on TV and tell us, hey, these two need to talk. We need to have a talk. We need to give them some office so we can have peace. So basically, and then when the TV, Citizen TV and other people shall show us images of dead bodies and the atrocities that are caused by this Mandamano, just like we started seeing Sondu when we have tribal clashes at Sondu, okay? After they create this problem, okay, this crisis, they create a crisis as through Mandamano, okay, the killings, the atrocities that come with it, the deaths. Then, like I said, the useful idiots like Herman Manyora and corrupt clergymen will convince us that the country needs a dialogue, and dialogue shall you have. And you see, we shall pour money, they shall pour money as these idiots are asking for more money, and there'll be a sit down, and then they shall agree that the constitution needs to be changed. And at that point, they'll convince us through the television news that in order to have peace, we have to change the constitution. You already say that idiot, what's his name, PLO Lumumba, who likes listening to himself, does not offer anything. He's trying to convince us that we need to change the constitution. Why should we change the constitution? Every time we have elections, Okay? There's always a loser. And if you have a loser, if you lose, go and become the opposition. We don't need to change the constitution to accommodate you. Okay? But again, as I said, they'll create this crisis through mandamano. There'll be atrocities, serious atrocities. Then we shall be convinced, they shall convince us that in order for us to have peace, we have to change the constitution. And the constitution will be changed to accommodate these crooks. There are crooks on both sides. In fact, 90%, if not 95% of this government are all crooks. Murkomen is a crook. Ruto is a crook. Gachagua is a crook. Name it. Aaron Chariot is a crook. These are crooks. All of them, they're crooks. Boni Kalwale is a crook. He's going to host a bullfighting event on Saturday after leaving Finland. He's living his best life. Boni Kalwale is living his best life. He just left Finland. Came back. He's going to host a bullfighting, whatever, for some, I don't know who is coming to meet some caucus in Washington, some black caucus, and climate rubbish reasons to come to. He's touring. Boni Kalwale is on a world tour. He's a proper celebrity now. Boni Kalwale is a celebrity. He needs to come up with an album. Boni Kalwale, the governor of Kakamega, is a celebrity. He is a superstar. He's in a global tour. He just left, was it Finland? And before Finland, he was somewhere else. He's back. He's going to host the Kakamega bullfighting event on Saturday. Then he'll probably fly out to the US. Go check out his tweets. Kalwale is living his best life. These are your politicians, the people that you vote and pay for with your taxes. Now, why will William Ruto and his administration fail? Number one, they're all corrupt. Read this book, Confessions, The Confessions of an Economic Hitman, by John Perkins. This guy worked with the IMF and World Bank. I've told the story more than once, but I'll just highlight and give you a reason why William Ruto will not improve Kenya. In fact, he's an extension of Kenyatta's rubbish. When Ruto came to power, first of all, this guy mentions that one way in which they get somebody on their side, how the IMF, remember, IMF and World Bank, these are essentially institutions, global institutions that are controlled by the big corporations. They don't belong. Most people think that even the Federal Reserve in the US, it's not a US bank, okay? But IMF and World Bank was created and is controlled by the corporations, the world corporations, okay? Another book that you should read that will help you understand this is The Silent Coup, okay? How corporations overthrew democracy. This book explains how corporations, okay, take over resources from countries, okay? Sign in deals for economic zones, okay? I know when some people, when they hear economic zones, they think it's a wonderful place. Oh, yeah, this is where business can do, it will be tax-free, it will be a place where international corporations can come in and have lower taxes, and it attracts foreign investments. Those are the fancy words they use to justify having these economic free zones. But no, my friend, there's a more sinister reasons behind it. But let me go ahead and explain to you why Ruto is a real proper Western puppet that's in the Western puppet's pockets and will not help Kenya in anything. I will explain to you why. When Ruto took power, first of all, this charlatan told us that he's the PhD, he's a scientist, as he told us when he was giving that horrible speech at climate change. Okay, he told us that he's a scientist. Okay, and number one, when the red flags, the number one red flag came when Ruto took power was when he mentioned that GMOs are good for consumption for Africans. That's number one. And he claims he has PhD. He has done his research. He's a scientist. Any normal person, scientist, okay, worth the name, will tell you that GMOs are not healthy for not only the environment, healthy for the human health, okay, and is not also good for the crop rearing, okay, for plants. Anybody, any scientist worth the name. That's why it's called Ruto a charlatan, okay? That's number one. Number two, I explained to you that in this book, this guy John Perkins, that used to work for the CIA and used to work for the IMF, how they used to take over countries, okay? Economically, that is. They will find a corrupt leader, okay, who they will convince. They'll prop him up, make him a president, and make him agree on some things to let some Western countries come to their country, basically protect the interests of that country. And one of the things also they'll have to do, they'll make sure that that corrupt leader that they choose will always vote on their side on any UN resolution, okay? And if you can remember, earlier this year, when there was a resolution came to the UN, resolution to sanction Russia. Guess who are the first country to vote for that sanction? William Ruto. Strike two. Strike three. When Ruto went to Paris for that climate nonsense, and he met with the president of the World Bank, this charlatan, instead of speaking against IMF, taking money from IMF loans, which we have a lot of loans, okay, odious debt from the IMF and World Bank, instead of Ruto trying to making a speech discouraging African countries from taking IMF money, because we all know, when you take IMF money, you have to play to their tune, which means they will control the facets of your economy, okay? Basically, your resources shall be looted through the companies that IMF and World Bank pick to do so, okay? But instead of Ruto speaking against the IMF and World Bank, instead of him speaking against the dependency of being indebted, taking debt from IMF and World Bank, this charlatan goes up there and gives a speech, a groveling speech, encouraging, saying that actually African countries need better loan terms when they borrow money from IMF. In other words, instead of preaching self-reliance, he's preaching, let's look at the World Bank and IMF as the people who can finance our projects. Number four, I don't know if that's number four, number five, okay? This guy, he kept on borrowing billions of Kenyan shillings, millions of Kenyan shillings from IMF, most of which, if not all of it, which were not approved by the parliament, okay? It was not approved by the National Assembly as per the law. Any loan that's taken should be taken for the sole purpose of development. And in order to do so, it has to be approved by the parliament. This was done before Ruto came up with his budget. This was done before Ruto passed his finance bill, okay? Because you have to have a budget before you even borrow, because you have to show the nation that this is the money that you want to spend. This is what you're going to spend it on. Okay. This is the estimated revenue and estimated expenditure, none of which was done. This guy came into office and within 1 month, he already borrowed some money. So all this money that he borrowed it illegally. Somebody get Okiomtata if you think I'm bull cropping. Bring on Kiomtata here so we can talk. Or Jimmy Wanjigi. So you see, everything Ruto does is in line with the West. Number 6 or number 5, I've lost track. Another reason why I tell you Ruto is a Western puppet that will not help Kenya in any way. When the coup d'etat happened in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, the whole of Africa, most of Africa, cheered the coup d'etat because these guys took over their country and took control of their country's resources. And most of Africa celebrated and say, yes, finally, West Africa is kicking off the French. Because the France and other Western puppets have been parasites, depending on African raw materials and resources to develop their nations, while impoverishing the countries that they are looting resources from. So the whole of Africa, majority of Africans were happy since Mr. Ibrahim Traore took over Niger, bringing the resources to help the people of Niger. But Ruto the charlatan went ahead and made a press conference, okay, condemning the coup d'etat that happened in Niger. In fact, he was advocating for the return of the previous French puppet that was ruling Niger. So this is a clear indication. And number 7, there's so many reasons. I'll give you number 7, the 7th reason and the 6th reason. If you've been following, tell me. Ruto initially decided to enter into a contract with the Saudis to buy their oil in Kenyan shillings. Okay? A few months after that contract was signed, he met with Meg Whitman, and the US told Ruto, hey, listen, you cannot do that. You better toe the line. Any transaction, oil transaction that you do with any country, you should do it in US dollars. Ruto obliged. Okay? These are reasons that tells you that Ruto is a Western puppet that will not bring any meaningful change to Kenya. Look at the corruption that's going on right now, that's brewing, the scandals that are brewing right now in his government. Okay? Don't get me fooled. Don't get fooled. The opposition is no better. The opposition is no better. Ruto is working in tandem with Raila Odinga. This opposition is the opposition talks, complaints are stage managed. They're pretending they're all in it, but they have to manage. They have to manage the mood of the people, of the populace, of the Kenyan people. You remember, was it Ichungwa who revealed that Ruto and Raila met at night somewhere in Mombasa with Suluhu, the president of Tanzania? Suluhu is becoming a dictator too. since the previous, what's his name, that passed away, the president that passed away from Tanzania, Magufuli. Magufuli was a hero, a true African hero. He saw Magufuli was trying to help get Tanzania to be self-sufficient, but he was killed. And after he died, Suluhu took over. Now you see Suluhu doing things that are unusual. That's why you see the opposition are talking about the ports that are being bought by Dubai, among other things. And you see democracy is in danger in Tanzania. He's jailing and shooting the opposition, trying to silence them. Okay? Yoweri Museveni, is gone. We all know Museveni is as useless as he's been. Museveni smells the coffee. Now he wants to run to the east. He wants to run to the Russians because the Americans have turned their backs on him and are sanctioning him. So he wants to run to Russia. So Museveni nowadays wants to sound like a pan-Africanist. While in the 80s, when he was praising Ronald Reagan, bragging of how he can stop Gaddafi, you faker Museveni. We remember those days. So Museveni now has been dumped by the US. Now he wants to pretend to be a pan-Africanist. He wants to join hands with the Russians because he has smelled the coffee. He's looking at the West and he's feeling threatened. He feels that the wind, the storm, the revolutionary storm will come to East Africa. And this is what I say. Ruto, if you're listening, listen carefully. This is what's going to happen. I know you're taking your orders from the IMF and the World Bank and these corporations, US corporations that are forcing you to do this. What you fail to understand is this draconian tax policies that you are shoving down the throats of Kenyans. This will be the results of it. Remember this. As more Kenyans get taxed, because I just saw Sakaja. Sakaja, by the way, you have a nice personality, but you're incompetent. Sakaja is incompetent. I'll explain that later, but let me go back to Ruto. The reason people will turn against you, Ruto, and you fail to understand this, as this finance act, okay, as you start collecting these taxes, these high taxes that you've forced us to pay, because I see you're taxing everything. Kenyans are being taxed for anything. In fact, breathing, taking 2 breaths, you'll be taxed 2 shillings per breath. Ruto is taxing everything. But that will be your downfall. No, I know you're comfortable. 2027, you might win because Raila is an idiot and cannot win. He has been compromised. You bought him up, okay? He just cares about his red carpets, chauffeurs, and VIP treatment. The old man has lost his mind. So he's no threat. You're going to win 2027, Ruto. We know that. But what might happen is we might have a revolution. Because as you tax Kenyans, raise those high taxes, people will be looking at their checks, pay slips, paychecks, looking at them after you get your check and asking themselves, is it worth it to go to work if all I'm paying for is once I pay rent and the utilities, okay, let's estimate how it went up. Once after paying that, they'll be left with nothing, not even enough to feed themselves for 30 days until the next pay slip. Okay? They'll ask themselves that. Driving will become impossible because the fuel taxes will be up, matatu prices will go up, food prices will go up, everything will go up. The shilling is losing its value against the dollar. So people will start asking themselves, what's the point of going to work? What's the point of starting a business if I'm getting taxed like this? Right? And once people start asking themselves that and finding it difficult to make a living, they shall turn on you, Ruto. They shall turn on you. And when they turn their pitchforks against you, Ruto, it will be too late. So if you're smart, get rid of this Finance Act. I know I saw Otiende Omolo today try to fight it. I know Okiya Mtata is trying to fight it. It's a good move. But Ruto, you can do something about it now. There's some things you can do to change the trajectory of this great nation. But you have to act now, not later. Okay? You can't tax everything. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I have about 24 minutes. I'll keep it short today. I'll keep it short so I can have another live later. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. It's right there on the screen as you see. Find me on YouTube, subscribe, share, like, comment, and always join me. I come here daily, 30 to 1 hour every day, discussing what's going on. Let me go through a couple of tweets, then I will be on my way. Let's see what everyone is saying about everything. Okay. Oh, okay. Apparently, they expelled ODM. Oh, Lord. President William Ruto met the expelled ODM MPs at State House, Nairobi today. Well, I'm telling you, Kenya is wonderful. I love this. Kenya is wonderful. You get expelled for meeting the president, and I guess this is a show of defiance from these ODM MPs. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, have mercy on us. Have mercy on me. Okay, what else is happening out there? Kalwale is not saying anything. Okay. I don't see anything. I was just looking at news. Anybody that says that has anything important? Yeah, Moses Kuria is the person who I was talking about. Moses Kuria, useless person. Moses Kuria should be arrested. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave it here. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. Find me on YouTube, subscribe, share, like, comment. That's my name on YouTube. And I will talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings. Rasta movement.